Up next on Boost Your Business, we're here with Anna Acton. We're going to find out what access requirements are needed to assist people with disabilities pertaining to doors and entrances. And in doing so, we will make your business more accessible for your customers. Here to help us is Anna Acton, who uses a wheelchair to get around. Anna, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mary, and thanks for having a room and building that is accessible.
Well, that's what we're here for, and trying to find out more about what kind of doors and entrances can help you access more facilities. So let me ask you first, what kind of difficulties do you come across as you enter buildings?
Well, lots of the difficulties come from entrances and doors that are not compliant with access requirements. For example, revolving doors must not be used as a required entrance. Also, building entrances must be connected by an accessible path of travel from parking and passenger loading zones, public streets, or sidewalks.
So once you get into the building, is it fairly easy to get around?
Well, it actually varies with the person. For example, the maximum effort to pull or push open a door must not exceed 5 pounds of force. For some people, the 5 pounds is easy enough, but for others, it can be more difficult. All accessible doors must also have a clear width of at least 32 inches.
What other requirements do entrances need?
Entrances require a level landing on each side of the door to allow a person to open and maneuver around the door. Let's start with the pull side of the door. All doors must have a 60-inch landing perpendicular to the door on the pull side of the door.
And that provides all the space a person with a disability needs to get through a door?
Not quite, Mary. We also need something called strike side clear space. The strike side requires a clear space on the pull side of the door that extends 18 inches beyond the edge of the door for interior doors and 24 inches for exterior doors.
What about the other side of the door, the push side?
On the push side, there must be a 48-inch landing perpendicular to the door. But for the push side, the strike side clear space is different. If a door has a closer and the door hardware latches shut, the push side of the door requires a clear space that extends 12 inches beyond the edge of the door.
Okay, what about the area at the bottom of the door? Are there any special requirements for that area?
The bottom 10 inches of the door on the push side must have a smooth, uninterrupted surface to allow the door to be opened by a wheelchair footrest without creating a trap or hazardous condition. The doorway threshold must be no higher than a ½ inch.
Well, Anna, we have covered a lot about doors themselves. What should our viewers know about door hardware and accessibility?
Mary, door opening hardware comes in a variety of styles to match everyone's taste. Regardless of the style, the new hardware should be usable with one hand using a single effort. One mistake we often see is the correct hardware is installed, but it requires a key to unlock the hardware and then a second motion to open the door. This is not accessible.
I can see that. So what has to be done to make it right?
Well, to be accessible, any style of door hardware must be easy to operate with one hand without tight grasping, pinching, or twisting of the wrist. If we replace old hardware with a new set, make sure you install the new hardware correctly. The new door hardware must be between 34 inches and 44 inches above the finished surface. One more thing, Mary. Access requirements apply even in historic locations. Some business owners may think that they are grandfathered in because they are in older buildings constructed before the ADA was signed into law. That's not true. No one is grandfathered in under the ADA. In California, every business open to the public must pay attention to accessibility requirements. For viewers wanting more information about accessible entrances or doorways, they can contact an architect or an experienced consultant who is knowledgeable about the requirements for accessible doorways and entrances.
Well, Anna, thank you for that introduction to accessible doorways. That's quite a lot of useful information to get into. Our viewers can now walk through their doors with a new perspective. Make your entrance more accessible so more customers can come in and ultimately boost your business.
If you have further questions on accessibility, email Disability Access Services at dasinfo@dor.ca.gov or call 916-558-5755.